This is Mr. Derek once again. I'm a teaching artist with ACT, and I have a nice short watercolor lesson plan for you today. It's called the Circle Forest, and all you need for it is a plate or anything that you can make a trace a circle, a set of watercolors, a few brushes, and some water. And this is how we start our circle forest. The first thing you want to do is just trace around your plate to make your circle. So just follow the edges around with your pencil until you get a complete circle like that. And then lift the plate off, set it to the side, and now we can begin our painting. So the first thing we want to do is take our brush and just lightly wet your paper. You don't want to get too wet, just a nice damp covering over the whole circle. So you just dip your brush into the water, kind of fill out the circle. Just like that. I'm trying not to leave too many big puddles, just enough to kind of wet the surface. And then I'm gonna start with my sky, my background sky. I'm gonna use blue. You could actually do this in any color. You could do it in purple, you could do it in yellow, orange, but I'm gonna go with blue. And just take it right up to the edge of the circle. It doesn't matter if you go a little bit over the edge, that's fine. And you just make some nice patterns, just like that. And you get to about the halfway point of your circle, which is right there. And then you just want to stop and leave the rest of it clear with no paint on it. You might drag just a little bit of it down to kind of fade it out. But for the most part, you want to keep your pigment here at the top. And now maybe add a second color just to give it some variety. So I have a different blue here. It's more of an aquamarine blue that has some green in it. So I'm just gonna add that to give my sky a little variety. That looks nice. And now we're gonna take our other brush. I have a smaller brush here, and I'm going to add some trees. And I'm using green for my trees. But I've seen these done in magenta, purple, to give it a more abstract look. But I'm gonna stick with the traditional green forest and just make some tree shapes. One easy way is just to make a straight line down like that, and then create little pine branches off of the straight line. The watercolor will do the rest. It'll start to blur and blend and create a real interesting looking pine tree. And you want to make them different sizes, different widths. Some are skinny, some are thicker. And you can let some of the white show through if you want, or you can just fill it all the way in. Just keep going. And you want to fill the whole bottom half of your page with the tree shapes. And just give them a nice variety of sizes. Like, let's put a little tiny one here, because then that gives it perspective and depth, like a real forest. Some trees are tall, some trees are not so tall. I like it. I really like that tree. You can put another one over here. You can try different tree shapes. I'm going with just a pine forest, so all my trees are kind of the same shape. But you can change, experiment a little bit. There's a tree next to that one. And spend a little time filling in the whole forest. So just keep going with the bottom part of the page, adding these tree shapes. Wow, that looks really cool. I'm gonna even add another little greenish color in there to give it some variety. I'm using my aquamarine, which is the same as the sky, but I'm just mixing it in with my trees to make it a little more interesting. That looks really nice. And if you like, you can even take a really tiny brush like this and add a few birds in the sky. Simple way to make a bird is kind of a V shape. Make sure you got enough watercolor on there. Small flock of birds. And I would continue to add more forest shapes, more tree shapes, until I kind of filled in the entire page. On the bottom part, you really want to fill it in so your forest looks full. And there you have it, a nice circle forest made with watercolor. So give this exercise a try, experiment. Take 2 or 3 tries until you get it the way you want it, sign it, and hang it on your wall. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.